Well, guys, it's your boy Nathan DeVos here, back with another video. I'm gonna start something today with Packer post-game reactions. I kind of started it in the 2020 playoffs, but I haven't done it ever since we lost to the Bucks in the NFC title game. And today's event is gonna be about the Packers and how terrible they are, and I think that what needs to happen moving forward. So, well, we lost to the Lions 15-9 today. Well, all right, let's start off with the offense, okay? They look like, okay, to be fair, okay, they moved the ball pretty well in the first half, but they just can't finish drives. That's the problem. That's kind of what happened with the Bills. They moved the ball fine in the second half, but then they just couldn't finish the drive to save their fucking life. And that's what happened today. And I thought the offense was fine at first. Like, okay, we're starting to get our shit together. And then just one bad drive just defines the whole game. That has been the trend, like, the whole season. So, yeah, and I'm kind of pissed at Rodgers for how bad he's thrown the ball. Because I think he could have thrown the ball a lot higher on that interception that hit a Lions player's helmet and then it got picked off. I think if he threw it a little bit higher, I think that it would be an easy touchdown. But Rodgers, being 38 years old, he just can't throw shit anymore. Okay, he makes some good throws here and there, but like when it matters, he just can't do it. And there's just a lot of dysfunction in our team right now, especially in the offense. And I'm not going to be, I'm going to pretend to be Matt LaFleur in the press conference, but it's just so much pain and agony, especially on the 1 yard line. You just give it to A.J. Dillon. Why do you even bother throwing the ball? That makes no fucking sense. Why you just try to do one of your little back shoulder fades or whatever, and you're doing it with Sammy Watkins, who's barely played all season, and you just signed him this year. I don't know what's going through Matt LaFleur's head. Well, okay, to be fair, Sammy Watkins has barely played, like I said, but he's not used to the offense, and I mean, I have to blame it on him. He ran the wrong route, and Rodgers weren't on the same page, which I'll have another instance where I get to that, where I touch up on Sammy Watkins not being on the same page as Aaron Rodgers. And I think that's kind of the summary of the offense. They just look like shit today, and they couldn't convert when it mattered the most, especially on that 2-point conversion. I don't know why you're doing a designed rollout. I think, should have given it to A.J. Dillon, but, the Lions, anytime we run it up the middle, we always got stalled at the line of scrimmage. So, like, Matt LaFleur's going to call it this crazy designed rollout, and we're going to tie the game. But LaFleur fucked it up. And Rodgers, he threw 3 interceptions today. That is not the typical Aaron Rodgers I've seen in my lifetime. But I guess Rodgers is past his heyday. I'm gonna admit it. Honestly, as a Packer fan, I'm not dissing on him. It's just like, I think, maybe it's time to admit the facts. And the defense, okay, to be fair, they played well today. I'm not saying like, great performance. It's like, okay, the reason why, I mean, they shouldn't have, I don't really blame the defense that much. I'm gonna be honest here. What was I thinking? Yep, like when we played like ass, it's because we were fucking tired. If we weren't tired, I think we could have held them maybe one of those drives. But Just so much pain right now. And as a team, we're just fucking crippled. Like half of our roster is depleted. I can't, I just lost track of who got hurt. Aaron Jones, Eric Stokes, Romeo Doubs, Bakhtiari for a little bit. Then he came back in, and Rashawn Gary. It was a fucking bloodbath today. I don't understand why we're just freaking made of glass. And Christian Watson, it's like anytime he steps out on the field, he's scared he's going to get hit. And then he just succumbs to all of his hits. Because anytime he gets hit, he gets hurt. He needs to go through some strengthening and conditioning. I think, I'm not trying to bash him. It's just, he just needs to be a tougher player. And we just don't use him in the right way. I think we did put him on a downfield route and Rodgers hit him. It's just these jet touch passes and these bubble screens and whatnot. So let's talk about the team moving forward. We got a very rough schedule before the bye week. We got Dallas, Tennessee, and Philly. It's probably going to be a shit show the next 3 weeks at this rate. And now let's get to later in the game. Defense bails us out with a stop, and crazy drama happens with fumbles. And then after that hookup with Samori Toure, I don't know what LaFleur was doing. It just feels like Rodgers and the offense weren't in sync. That's just what the whole day was. And that's what it's been ever since the second half of the Giants game. It's just been a shit show with the offense, and I just can't take it. So we're now 3-6. The worst that can happen is we drop to 3-9, and pretty much at this point, our chances of winning the division are extremely unlikely. The only way it can happen is we have some unforeseen Jurassic turnaround, which I doubt will happen. I mean, personally, like as a person, I'm not a quitter, but it just feels like the trend. I feel like I don't want to say throw in the towel, but now the Vikings 7-1 now. But I admit it, this is their year. Okay. Let's put it this way. Absolutely no shot we win the division. In terms of wild card, we're like a game and a half back. I mean, there's like a good chunk of the teams in the AFC and in the NFC in general that are just ass. And I mean, maybe if the Packers, we can only afford to lose 1 or 2 more games. So we have to win one of the next 3 if you want to have a legitimate shot. But I think at the absolute best case scenario, probably I would say 9-8 or 8-9 probably. And if we lose the next 3 games, I'm throwing in the towel. I'm gonna be honest to God. But I feel like today, we threw in the towel. Just because our offense is dysfunctional, half our roster's crippled, and our defense just gets gassed, and it feels like all the weight is on their shoulders. And the defense is living up to the hype. Well, they kind of did, except like 3 drives, especially the opening drive where they let them get downfield, but we stopped them. But like I said, I'm just, hear me out. If I was Brian Gutekunst right now and Matt LaFleur, I'm done. I'm throwing the towel. Our season is just going to shit. We should just, if I was the coach, I'd just say throw in Jordan Love and see how he does. And, I would just rather go 3-14 than win 4 more games and just miss the playoffs. I'm just being brutally honest. I think maybe it's I think maybe it's time for a rebuild. And it just sucks saying it because most of my life we've been really successful. I started watching football in like 2012, so I was in second grade at the time. What was I think? And the only times we missed the playoffs were 17 and 18. One year, Rodgers broke his collarbone, missed half the season, and then the next year we just had a whole bunch of bad luck, and it was the Mike McCarthy shit show. But it just, I feel like this season's going down at this point, especially because we lost to two of the worst teams, if not the two worst teams in the NFL. Well, in terms of like roster, like in terms of record, no, but well, Lions practically had the worst record in the league going into this one, so I guess they're one of the worst. So I don't know what else to say. Maybe it's time to start a rebuild. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for listening to this event, and like and subscribe. Go Pack Go.